I always see pictures of you, and you're in warm places. Makes me a little bit jealous. Where are you right now?
I am in Santa Monica, California. It's
Yeah.
cold here, too.
Okay. I was looking at your Instagram the other day, and there was a picture of you, and it was like, hey, I don't remember how many years ago it was. Maybe it was 10, 20 years ago, and it was a bunch of you guys in the back of a boat, and you said, this is when it all started for me, the island life. And I guess I didn't know you before you were Island Kenny, honestly. And so, the first time you go and, you're going out to experience whatever you call the island life, did you go as just a vacation and think this is so fun? I just want to go back and live there?
Not really. The first time I ever went down to the islands, I shot a music video for How Forever Field, and we had a day off, and I took the ferry over to the other island, and Bobby, it was crazy. I was walking up the street, and there was this bar, and they had the door open, and I heard George Strait coming out of that bar, and I walked in, and I stuck my head in, and I said, "Is that really George Strait?" And these two guys looked at me, who ended up being really good friends of mine from Kansas City, and they went, "Yeah, and are you Kenny Chesney?" And which really surprised me because it was really early in my life, in my journey in my career. But that's kind of where it all started. It was several years ago, but the picture you're talking about was on a friend of mine, Bob's boat, called the Hey Now, and it was New Year's Day on 01/01/01. And this year, I think this is the post you're talking about. It was the 20th year anniversary of that date, and it did start my island journey, if you will.
Yeah, that was the picture I was talking about. Is it, when you go back to that home and you're there, are there folks that live on the island that only know you as Kenny and not Kenny Chesney, the massive country superstar?
Yes, I love it. But when they come out to the shows, they only know me as someone they've seen on island for a lot of years now. But when they come out to a show, they're really confused because they don't know the other person. And they're real, and they can't believe it, because they just, they see me as a local and in their grocery store and whatever, and they've never seen the other side. So when they do, they're really confused at what's going on.
You put out the song Happy Does, about to go #1, another massive hit for you. And I do want to get into the amount of hits in 1 second, but what is your song selection process like? Because you are notoriously good at picking songs.
Oh wow! I just try to put myself in the place of the narrator. I have to believe that somebody out there that hears it's going to move them in some way. And I've got a few people around me also that's got really good song sense. I've learned song sense over the years from Buddy Cannon and Renee Bell when I was at Sony, and now Chris Lacey, and a lot of people in my life that help me with that. But I have to love it, and I have to really live with these songs, and sometimes it hits me right off the bat, and sometimes I have to live with it, just to know that a listener on any level is going to care about it, and that's kind of the mental process I go through. And like I said, sometimes it's evident right off the bat, and sometimes it's got to hit me a little later on.
You have 31 #1s, about to be 32 with Happy Does. At your shows, that's a lot of songs to play. Are there any '1s you leave off the list consistently?
Yeah. It's the ballads that were #1 early on in my career. Every now and then we'll throw one or two of those in, but my life has been a little strange, and my career's been a little strange because I had a greatest hits record out with 18 songs on it, but nobody knew who I was yet. It was really strange. It was before the No Shoes, No Shirt, No Problems album, and we would go places, and we would be opening for people, and I would do all these songs, and they would go, "Oh, that's the guy that sings that." And it wasn't until we had Young and The Good Stuff and No Shoes, No Shirt, No Problems that we connected the dots with everybody. So it was once we started getting to that point, I really did prioritize what I wanted to do in the live element, and sometimes the ballads just don't make it. So whether they were #1 or not.
I talk about you because you are not only legendary but completely modern and contemporary. Only a few people in my entire music lifetime career have I been able to see do that, where you put out your first album in 1994. Do you consider yourself, as contemporary as you are, a 90s country artist as well?
I do love that music. It's hard for me to listen to the music I made then because everything has changed so much, and I don't listen to it as a fan. I listen to it as somebody that created it, and I'd listen to it and going, oh well, I would have done this different, or I'll hear something on a radio from that era and go, well, why did we mix it this way, or why did we do this? So I don't really listen to it that way. I'm really fortunate and feel very grateful to at this point in my career to still have a fire burning and to be getting songs like American Kids and Get Along and Happy Does and all this music that we've created, over the last 4 or 5 years. So I don't know how to answer that. I mean, yes, a big part of my life was in the 90s, but it's also, been since then. And I feel like that my audience has grown and grown since then also. And it's funny you say that, though, because now I will do these songs that everybody knows now, and I'll go back and do a song from the 90s, and they'll start checking their phones. They don't even know it. It's really weird, and it was a big record, So it's interesting to see that.
I got 2 quick questions, and we'll wrap this up because I appreciate your time. I was talking to Dina Carter pretty recently, who I'm friends with and love, and I know you know Dina as well, obviously. And she was talking about, she was writing, and you were writing at a house, and the first time that you guys met were kind of in a driveway parking lot because you were blocking her in. So the first Dina Carter meeting, do you remember that meeting, and what in the world were you driving then?
I don't remember that. I thought I met her at the BMI Awards. I thought she was wonderful, but maybe she's right. I don't remember that moment, but I love Dina, and her and Matraca Berg wrote one of my favorite songs ever, with You and Tequila, and it's will forever be a staple of my life. But Dina's so wonderful. She's from East Tennessee, and she's just she's been so great to me over the years, and I truly love her.
All right, one final question. Don't Blink came out in 2007. So, like the lyrics of the song, does it feel like the last 14 years have gone by in a blink? Thank you very much.
Yes, it has, because we've been so busy. And Bobby, when you're on the road as much as we've been, like I said, I usually tour from March or April until the end of September or 1st of September, whenever we play 2 nights at Foxborough. And so however that lays. And so when you're doing that constantly, and my life has always been like a baseball season. We've been on the road for 6 months, and then we're off for 6 months, and then say 3 of the 6 months off is spent preparing for the next 6 months on. You do that over multiple years, and all those years start running together. And yeah, it's Don't Blink starts to seem like a very relevant song in my life.
All right, there he is, Kenny Chesney. Gonna have another number one. He is not only extremely relevant, and he's still setting the standards for other artists. He's also a legend at the same time. Only a few people can I say that about. Kenny, good to talk to you, bud, and hopefully I see you soon.
Thanks, Bobby Bones. Talk to you soon.